هودي مسيحيين تنك.
بدنا القانون، بدنا القانون، بدنا القانون.
بالاخر التنك بتكبيه.
الكويت عم تتعرض لحرب كثير كبيره باساسها الحرب بالشام بالضاحيه الجنوبيه عون وجماعته.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us on FutureTV. I'm Linda Tamim and these are today's top stories. Former Prime Minister Saad Hariri condemns the recent rocket attacks which wounded several people on the southern suburb of Beirut. Syria's Foreign Minister Walid Muallim says his government will take part in a peace conference in Geneva. And Syria's main opposition group calls on Hezbollah fighters to defect as fierce clashes break out in Qusair. Two rockets have hit a district in the southern part of Beirut this morning, wounding at least 5 people. Initial reports said one of the rockets landed in Mar Mikhail district, while the second fell on a car exhibit on the street. Lebanon state agencies said security forces were looking for a third rocket that fell but did not explode. Interior Minister Marwan Sherbil inspected the scene where the rockets fell, saying they were fired from the southeastern side of the area, but that it was too early to know who fired them. Today's attack came a day after a speech by Hezbollah leader Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah, in which he committed to fighting in Syria's conflict. Former Prime Minister Saad Hariri has contacted Speaker Nabih Berri in order to discuss the latest developments, including the Mar Mikhail blast in Beirut's southern suburbs. Hariri said it is not enough to condemn strife during such attacks, but national duties require all leaders to warn those seeking unrest to halt their attempts to weaken and replace the state. He stressed the need to intensify efforts to avert similar attacks in the future. The former premier deemed the attack as a terrorist crime, especially since it targeted a residential area. In reference to Hezbollah chief Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah's recent speech, Hariri has warned of dangerous consequences should the Lebanese participate in external conflicts. President Michel Sleiman and Prime Minister Najib Mikati have condemned the Mar Mikhail blasts, saying that they are aimed at creating strife in Lebanon. Sleiman echoed Hariri's stance and urged citizens to be cautious to avert strife and maintain civil peace. He described the assailants as terrorist saboteurs who do not want peace or stability for Lebanon or the Lebanese people. For his part, Mikati said the attacks are aimed at creating security tensions and certain retaliations, given the timing of the incident. Mikati later discussed details of the incident with Interior Minister Marwan Sherbil. He also requested that the army carries out the necessary investigations in the attack. On another note, former Lebanese Prime Minister Fouad Sanyura has accused the Hezbollah leader of dragging Lebanon into Syria's civil war, following his speech in which he said his party will fight until victory in Syria. Head of the independence movement, Michel Mouawad, has condemned Syria's Hezbollah fighting in Syria, saying that is aimed at achieving Iranian interests in the region. Mouawad said that party chief Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah has neglected the role of the Lebanese state, laws, borders, and constitution in his speech. He also refuted Nasrallah's claims that the party is combating takfiris in Syria, saying that extremism cannot be fought with extremism. He warned that Hezbollah's actions are paving the way for Sunni Shiite strife in the region. Turning to Shiites in Lebanon, Mouawad called on them to reject Hezbollah's agenda, which he said, and I quote, is aimed at protecting Iranian interests at their expenses. 2 young Alawites have been kidnapped by unidentified gunmen while shopping in Badawi vegetable market. This is according to Rifat Eid of the Arab Democratic Party. The Lebanese Army intelligence intervened and managed to obtain the release of one of them, according to a communique by the Directorate of Army Intelligence. Syria's foreign minister says his government will take part in a peace conference in Geneva, terming it a good opportunity for a political solution to the civil war in Syria. Walid Muallim said during a news conference in Baghdad that he had told his counterpart Hoshyar Zebari and Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki of the decision. During the previously unannounced visit to Baghdad, Muallim told reporters that President Bashar al-Assad's regime had agreed in principle to participate in the international conference, which is supposed to take place in Geneva. Muallim also took a swipe at countries supporting rebels who are locked in a bloody civil war with Assad's regime, saying that the regional countries that conspire against Syria are the same that support terrorism in Iraq. Syria's main opposition group has called on Hezbollah fighters to defect as members of Lebanon's party led an assault on Qusair in central Syria. Amateur video posted on the internet showed an airstrike said to be filmed in Qusair, where Syrian government forces backed by Hezbollah have launched a fierce campaign against rebels fighting to topple President Bashar al-Assad. Sources on both sides said that Assad's forces, reinforced by Hezbollah fighters, had unleashed heavy artillery and tank fire to try to seize the more rebel terrain in the town bordering Lebanon. The Syrian opposition in Turkey said that thousands of fighters from Iran and Hezbollah were involved in the attack on Qusair and in battles in the capital of Damascus. Another video shows Syrian rebels from the Baba Amr brigade allegedly shooting at Hezbollah fighters in the village of Al-Hamdiyeh, a northern suburb of Qusair. Coming up next, Betadine Art Festival releases its 2013 program. We'll tell you all about it after the break. Welcome back. Israeli President Shimon Peres has commented on the prospect of peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Peres, who spoke to the press during the World Economic Forum at the Dead Sea in Jordan, stressed that the time for peace has come. Those are his words.
I do believe it is a real possibility. As far as the Palestinians are concerned, we have a functioning beginning and we have an agreed solution. The agreed solution is a two-state solution leading in peace and dignity. The functioning solution is the Palestinian Authority. I'm aware about the missing links which are residing in between those two ends. From my experience, I believe it's possible to overcome it. It doesn't require too much time. I think it's the real interest of all parties concerned.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has met Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi in Ethiopia on the sidelines of an African Union summit discussing Syria's civil war, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, human rights in Egypt, and the country's faltering economy. Sources say Kerry also urged Egypt to act swiftly on economic reforms to secure a $4.8 billion International Monetary Fund loan, saying the measures were needed to get further aid from the U.S. Congress. Egypt's Islamist-led government has been resistant to introducing the austerity measures needed to win the IMF funding, including raising taxes and cutting fuel subsidies, fearing such painful reforms could provoke social unrest. Heavily armed Maoist rebels have killed at least 29 people, including Congress party leaders, after ambushing a convoy in a remote tribal belt of central India. The head of the party in the state of Chhattisgarh, Nankumar Patel, and his son, who were kidnapped by the rebels after the attack on Saturday, have also been found dead. Officials say 32 people were seriously wounded. A senior police officer said suspected Maoists triggered a landmine blast and fired at the vehicles in the Sukma district. Congress Party President Sonia Gandhi termed it a dastardly attack on India's democratic system. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh said the government will take firm action against the perpetrators. Now, for news around the world in brief, geological workers have discovered a large gold mine in northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, the largest gold mine discovered in the region following one with 50-ton gold reserve found in 1988. The local Geology and Mineral Resources Bureau says the mine contains at least 53 tons of gold and is expected to have an economic value of around $162 million US. Covering about 3 kilometers long and 60 to 300 meters deep, the mine also contains 31,200 tons of copper. 97-year-old Lebanese artist Salwa Rawda Sh'ir has won a long-awaited recognition for her pioneering sculptures and paintings with a major exhibition at London's Tate Modern. Over 100 pieces of Sh'ir's artwork are on display, many of them for the first time. Sh'ir has been described as a pioneer of abstract art in the Arab world. Her distinctive sculptures are made up of multiple interlocking pieces that can be either exhibited separately or assembled together into a single work, just like the verses of Sufi poetry. Activists have staged protest marches in cities across the United States against the biotechnology company Monsanto. The demonstrators claim that Monsanto's genetically modified seeds are dangerous and harmful to the environment. The U.S. protests came as part of a global effort to mobilize demonstrations against the company in cities all over the world. Activists were also calling for mandatory labeling of genetically modified food. Monsanto has insisted that its products are safe and that they help farmers produce more crops from their land while conserving water and energy. The Beit Din Festival is one of the leading festivals in the Middle East. The event, which takes place in a large and magnificent 200-year-old palace in the Shuf Mountains in Lebanon, promises amazing shows this year. Check it out. The Beit Din Art Festival 2013 aspires to be more than a simple slate of concerts, and its schedule of performances ranging in genre from jazz to ballet will play out in counterpoint to exhibitions of visual art. BAF will open with director Alain Weber's musical On the Steps of Marco Polo, a musical journey on the Silk Road. Conducted by Maestro Lubnan Baalbaki, the Lebanese Philharmonic Orchestra will accompany the troupe of vocalists who will recount the story of the famed Venetian explorer, played by Rafi Ali Ahmad, and his travels on the Silk Road. From June 26 through 29, Splendid will feature the multi-talented China National Acrobatic Troupe in a 12-act program that combines music, dance, as well as such acrobatics as hand and glass balancing and trapeze. Beit Din has programmed shows by several Arab artists. On July 4th and 5th, Iraqi vocalist Qasim al-Sahir, depicted as the Caesar of Arabic music, will return to his adoring Shuf audience with his blend of sonorous arrangements and Arabic poetry. For jazz lovers, singer-songwriter Dee Dee Bridgewater and pianist Ramsey Lewis will perform a duet show on July 17th. These acclaimed artists, who may have won 3 Grammy Awards apiece, will enliven Beit Din Palace with groovy melodies. BAF will pay homage to Syria's cultural heritage on July 19th with a trio performance featuring clarinetist and composer Kinan Hamzi and vocalist Ibrahim Kevo and Rasha Rizq, the latter of whom may be recalled for her work on the soundtrack of Nadine Lepake's Caramel. Beit Din will usher in August with ballet thanks to French ballet troupe Preljocage staging of Les Nuits on August 1st. Choreographed by Angeline Preljocage for a cast of 18, this piece takes its inspiration from 1001 Nights, and in particular the erotic role of women in the tales. French vocalist Patricia Cass will bring her homage to Edith Piaf on August 10th. The concert marks the Levantine leg of Cass Cass Chante Piaf Tour, which was rapturously received in Russia. The visual art component of this year's festival features a photographic tribute to Lebanese film director Maroun Baghdadi. The photo exhibition will hang alongside a show of wooden, stone and metal sculpture by Anashar Basbous, which will see a bit of Rashana, the artist's hometown, temporarily migrate to Beit Din. 2 of BAF's events will focus on younger audiences. On June 1st, students from the Lebanese School of Fine Arts will present George Shahadi's show Étincelle. On August 4, a concert by the Youth Symphonic Band of the NGO Lebam is comprised of musicians from 12 to 18 years old. The Beit Din Art Festival runs from June 21st till August 10th. For more information, please visit www.beitdin.org or call 01-373-430. Make sure not to miss the magical shows of the Beit Din Art Festival this year. And on that note, we mark the end of our bulletin for today, and now for a reminder of our headlines. Former Prime Minister Saad Hariri condemns the recent rocket attacks which wounded several people on the southern suburb of Beirut. Syria's Foreign Minister Walid al-Muallim says his government will take part in a peace conference in Geneva. Finally, Syria's main opposition group calls on Hezbollah fighters to defect as fierce clashes break out in Qusair. Those are your Sunday headlines from Future TV, live from Beirut. Catch us again tomorrow, same time, for more of the world's top stories. Have a great evening.
هودي مسيحيين تنك.
بدنا هالقانون، بدنا القانون، بدنا هالقانون.
بالاخر تنك بتكبيك.
الكويت عم تتعرض لحرب كتير كبيرة بأساسها الحرب بالشام بالضاحية الجنوبية عون وجماعته